We have that disastrous bill on our hands. And the problem with the disastrous bill is the people know it's wrong. But yet and still they're passing it around like it's a ping pong ball. It goes to the Senate. It goes to the House. But yet and still they know it's wrong. If you know something is so disastrous and terrible, why the hell are you voting on it? And look at who stepped up to the plate to kill the people at hand. Lisa Murkowski.
The senator from Alaska. And Senator Murkowski just had this mentality, I got my deal, screw the rest of the states.
And so all the other senators that's stepping out there saying that they're not going to go with it, you can't really trust them because they're probably being called over to the White House to cut a deal with the president. And which he shouldn't be intervening at this time, but either they're getting their eye sockets threatened or they're being told cutting deals like Lisa Murkowski did. And then when the people, when the news guy asked her to kind of explain herself, she couldn't say nothing because she was what?
She was wrong from the beginning, and she wanted the House to change it to bail her out.
So you wouldn't really want her legacy, and that's what other senators need to look at. She's already has labeled herself as bad, and anybody that follows her lead is going to look just like Murkowski.
Look like him or Susan Collins, especially with Susan Collins with the, I'm so concerned Susan Collins, but she votes with them anyway. Don't trust her either.
Well, one thing we can say about Lisa Murkowski, she sure in the hell ain't no John McCain.
No, she's not.
And that's what you want, a person that's going to walk in with balls, tenacity, and guts, put the hammer down, and say, this is the way it should be for everyone. For everyone. But Murkowski didn't do that. She did it just for her state. It's 50 states. And hers is not the only state. So she's a sellout. And she should be ashamed.
She has no shame.
No, her and Joni Ernst.
Joni Ernst just said, you just go ahead and die. We're all going to die anyway. And that's another evil woman from Iowa. And she also is the same one that also allegedly had an affair with the top brass in the military, Joni Ernst.
Allegedly. But in the meantime, they've got her cornered. Every time she comes out and she opens her mouth, she's going to go with who?
She's going to go with the ugliness. She's going to go with the big ugly bill anyway, because she's compromised.
So in the meantime, they done killed off U.S. aid, and now they're coming back to kill off what?
Now they're going off to kill seniors and the poor.
The most vulnerable is going to be destroyed in this bill.
Yeah.
And that's what's a shame.
And what's even worse, J.D. Vance even said that healthcare is not as important as funding for ICE, which means deportation of not just immigrants, but black people, but American citizens too. And they cut the bill so they can fund ICE, which is going to be a police state.
So my question is, why would you want to vote for a bill that's going to lock everybody up? That's really voting against your interests, because if you don't want to be deported, then and they're going to put all this money toward ICE, then you basically said, ICE, come and get me. Come and get me. I voted for you to lock me up because they're allocating money to ICE, a big share, so that, they can harass and humiliate and snatch people off the street illegally.
And kill them illegally.
And now, not only immigrants, but now they're snatching what?
They're snatching American citizens. It started with the criminals, then it started with the illegal immigrants, then it started with the document, then it just works their way to the naturalized citizens, and then to U.S. citizens.
So you're going to vote for somebody to snatch you up. You're going to vote for something that's so disastrous. And they're adding more disaster to this bill. A bill that it's a kill bill.
And it's not only a kill bill, it is a dictatorship bill where they defunded the courts. And not only defund the courts, they can cancel elections if they want to. Look what happened in Florida, in Miami-Dade County, when they canceled elections to 2026. They were term limit. They were supposed to be gone in 2025, but now they said we'll wait till 2026 and just canceled the election.
Yeah.
This is just a preview of what's to come.
Well, what's to come is the courts are who's holding up who?
The Supreme Court is upholding the felon in chief and the felon in chief.
So basically, the Supreme Court is saying this is something that they want because in that particular bill, it limits their powers, right?
Yeah, and the Supreme Court already destroyed the lower court's power to begin with when you can't do no nationwide injunctions.
But they're working around that too. But I'm just saying the Supreme Court basically is whittling down their powers through these shadow doctor cases, which they said that they don't really have enough information, and they're making arguments on things that is very hard to decide just in one stem. So, and they're basically throwing in their opinion instead of dealing with the facts. So the Supreme Court has a great amount of distrust and hatred in this bill. They're not supposed to be as political as they are, but they have been.
They gaslight you, say, oh, we know we got to have strict constructionist judges. What they're really trying to do is rewrite the Constitution to their own ends. That's what they're really doing.
They have structured every time they give a win to one side, they give more power to the president, knowing that he doesn't understand the power that he has, but they're fulfilling their agenda. They're remaking him into something that he isn't, and that's been his whole life. So this is just a perfect job. And what do you think about Elon Musk going off whining and talking about?
It's his fault too, because he is going to go down as one of the elites that misunderstand the dictatorship. And he's going to be deported. They're going to take his money. It's his fault too, because he was short-sighted and selfish.
So now he's out there, and it's not that he cares about the people.
He don't care about nothing about them. He denied homelessness. He's very racist.
Don't ask Bill Gates about Elon Musk.
He's the one that contributed to 14 million people dying in Africa and Sudan, with USDA being gone. He contributed to this mess. So there's no clean hands there. So I have no empathy for King Calamine, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And I don't call him the richest billionaire, the world's richest man. I call him the world's richest drug addict, Calamine addict.
But the bottom line on this is that he could have stayed out of it. The only interest that he have now is that he won't get his climate cars,
He was under investigation. He got everything else that he wanted, but he paid a price at the... It's like the Wishmaster. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful because you might get it, but it may not be the way you think.
Well, and so now he has to suffer with all of us. And the red state's going to suffer the most. I don't think they understand that they're not going to have any hospitals. They're not going to have what else, Bob?
They're not going to have any health care. They're not going to have any hospitals. They're not going to have nothing. And pretty soon you ain't going to be having no able job real soon either. But they're okay with that as long as the minority don't do no better than them. That's what it really is. Because they think what happens to them is going to happen to black and Latinos. No, it happens to you too. You're the waste, fraud, and abuse.
They're going to waste us. They're the frauds. And they're going to abuse us until we die. So basically, they're in the scheme of things, it's going to come back and it's going to look like COVID-19, where all these people died. Nobody took responsibility for it. And just like in USAID, what happened? They killed what? Millions of what?
They killed 14 million people. And hurt farmers in the process.
And there's Marco Rubio over there chomping at the bits. Then, turned on all his people.
He turned on. He has no principles. He is a turncoat. He turned on his people. He believes in nothing.
And there's J.D. Vance slamming down the gavel saying that we want you to what?
We want you to die. That healthcare is not materially important than ICE.
And so when you vote on this bill, think about it. You're voting for ICE to come pick you up, drop you out of a plane, disappear you. Blacks been getting disappeared for many years.
They do, and now and then here's what the thing that gets worse about this in the 14th Amendment about ICE. They can pick up black people and deport them as well. Homegrown people.
Absolutely. But what's really sad is what we was told just recently over the weekend by somebody that was from what? Where was she from? The Caribbean?
Philippines.
The Philippines. They said, well, my skin is light. What the hell has that got to do? You still can get deported. And that was the problems in the voting. They thought that because of their fair skin, that they could escape the what?
They could just escape prejudice. No, they want pure white. They want pure white. Same thing what happened with Cubans and other Hispanics that thought that since they're fair skinned and not black, then they think that racism don't apply to them. No. They don't like person of color, period. Black people has been knowing this for years.
Yeah. And so that's why a lot of times blacks feel like...
That's why blacks feel like we ain't going to march with those immigrants because we tried to warn you the last time. And I get where blacks are coming from.
But we can't be divided because that's what they want. And we need to really, at this moment in time, really all stick together because everybody has a fight, a cause in this movement. Everybody. If it's, if you're fighting for Medicare, if you're fighting for Social Security, if you're fighting for your rights to stay in this country, due process.
Or especially veterans benefits, if you're a veteran.
There's many issues that we all have to stick together and stand against what?
We have to stand against this evil that is this administration.
All right. So, I never thought that I would be agreeing with Elon Musk, but we know that Elon Musk
Elon Musk is one of the biggest enablers.
Yeah, but when he found out that he wasn't going to get what he wanted out of it, and he
benefited from it a little bit because he got off of investigations. He actually got what he wanted, but he did not get it in the way you think afterwards. And now, what they're going to do, they're going to deport Elon Musk next. They're going to go after his money. They're going to go after SpaceX.
Yeah. And that's the biggest cut where it needed to be in the what department?
In the Doge department.
In the Defense Department.
In the Defense Department. In the Department of Defense, because they have failed 7 audits to the Department of Defense. Okay. 7 audits. They talk about we need to cut spending, but when you're talking about defense, no, we can't cut that. We can't cut that.
So we had that number that we called, and that number was 202-224-3121. Call your congressman and your senators. That number again is 202-224-3121. And this is what you're going to get. You're going to get that the lines are tied up, that they're not available, that they'll get back to you. They're on hold. What district if your senator or congressman is from, you call that district or you call that congressperson. And I guess they all in the hearing confirmation because nobody is answering the line. And the famous line on that number of 202-224-3121 is they will tell you at this moment, like I said, all the lines are tied up, senators are out, and they will get back with you, or either it's past the time of working hours, so call back in the morning. So don't stop trying. Keep trying, whatever you do. And Vaughn, last words on this one?
My last one on this one is that if this bill does not get defeated, we are going to be seeing the worst we're going to be seeing the Gilded Age that is really going to be even insane. Similar to the French Revolution, if this happens.
And they want to go back to the Great Gatsby, and just going back in the past. And that's what's dangerous. We cannot go back. We have to move forward. And we have to all come together as one and stand for our country, stand for our rights, fight for...
Not just stand for our country, but stand for your own communities, your country, and the world.
And just to throw another stickler in it, we have to say that it is time for new blood in the Democratic Party. That's another story.
That's another one I'm gonna.
But that's, we're gonna have to move forward with new blood. And on that note, we're gonna what?
We're gonna get out, and I'll be seeing you next time.
All right.